It's celebration here in Nice along the Côte d'Azur at the 2024 Tour de France. And we just saw the French fighter jets going overhead with the red, white, and blue smoke coming out of their tailpipes. But it might as well have been Slovenian fighter jets celebrating for Tadej Pogacar, the winner of the 2024 edition, picking up his third Tour de France win in his career after 2020, 2021, and the last 2 years struggling, fighting against the Visma, the Jumbo team, and Jonas Vingegaard. But this year, he's back on top and annihilated his competition, crushed his rivals, and today, with the final TT stage, stage 21, from Monaco to Nice, 33.7 kilometers, Tadej Pogacar put 1 minute and 2 seconds into his nearest rival, Jonas Vingegaard. Both of the riders were going all out to try to win the stage. Third on the stage, Remco Evenepoel, who's also third overall in the GC. It was a dominant performance from start to finish for Tadej Pogacar. 6 stage wins, 1 early on over the Galibier, 2 in the Pyrenees, 2 in the Alps, and today in the final TT stage. In the first TT, well, that was Remco Evenepoel. Now this stage was a good one, an interesting one, starting from the Principality of Monaco and finishing here in Nice. We can't finish in Paris this year for the first time because the Olympics are starting soon next weekend. Instead, we're down here on the Côte d'Azur, and frankly, I like it. The day, well, it included the last Tour de France for Mark Cavendish, and he, in this Tour de France, picked up his 35th career stage win, broke the all-time record of Eddie Merckx, who he was tied with a couple of years ago with 34, and now he's got 35. It was Biniam Girmay out there riding in the green jersey, winning the points competition, winning 3 stages along in this Tour de France, and making history as the first black cyclist to ever win a stage. And yeah, also the green jersey in the Tour de France for the Eritrean. And there were a lot of Eritrean fans out there around the Intermarché bus today. And Richard Carapaz riding in that polka dot jersey, which he secured yesterday with the brutal, hard-fought fight over Tadej Pogacar, who was out there picking up stage wins, but also those mountain points at the top of the climbs. It was an emotional day for riders like Romain Bardet, who was competing in his last Grand Tour, his last Tour de France. And remember, Bardet on stage 1 picked up the stage win and the yellow jersey along the way. And when we're focusing on the sharp end of this TT, well, it was hard fought. And there were also some classification battles going on because remember, Derek G, the Canadian, riding in his first Tour de France and also riding here for the GC after his breakout performance in the Criterium du Dauphiné with the 3rd place overall behind Primož Roglič. Well, today he was out to give Matteo Jorgensen a run for his money to try to get that 8th place back from the American from Visma Lease Bike. 24 seconds separated him, and Derek G was out on a flyer today, setting the time checks, best time check at the first time check, but, and Derek G admitted it afterwards. He heard afterwards that Matteo Jorgensen had a crash out there during the stage. Matteo was back up on his bike quickly and was setting high times along the way. In fact, Derek G set the best time when he came over the finish line, the fastest time on the stage, 33.7 kilometers, around about the high 50 minutes for the time, but Matteo Jorgensen came across the line and bettered the time, which also secured his 8th place overall. Derek G, still a phenomenal ride in the 3 weeks at the Tour de France for the Canadian from Team Israel Premier Tech, finishing 9th overall. And every day, when we were up there in the high mountains, Derek G was struggling, but fighting, but riding conservatively and riding well in this Tour de France. Now the helicopters and the planes are flying overhead, all trying to get the picture of everything that's going on because the TT finished here along the Côte d'Azur, along the Promenade du Anglais, the famous one where often we see the Pyrenees stage race finish and where Matteo Jorgensen calls home when he's not in the United States. Here along the Promenade du Anglais, and then they made a couple turns and they finished in the Place Masson, and there the crowd went crazy one by one as the riders came in and got louder and louder. We were with Matteo Jorgensen, who was watching the rest of the riders come in after him. He saw Remco Evenepoel top his time. He saw also Jonas Vingegaard come in, and then he saw the performance of Tadej Pogacar. I caught up with Adam Yates on the ride of Tadej Pogacar. I caught up with Jack Haig, what it meant, his domination in this Tour de France, 6 stage wins. And everybody's kind of torn as to whether or not he should have given some of those away or eased up a bit and let the escape win on some days. or if he's doing what he should be doing and racing his bike and racing for the victory, what he's paid to do by UAE Team Emirates. And I'm in that camp. Let me know which camp you're in down in the comments. But keep it clean, keep it respectful, be polite to our other viewers, because we're all fans of cycling and fans, I hope, of Tadej and Jonas and the duel we had here over the 3 weeks, because it came down to the final day. On the last day, they were fighting for it. We saw the excellent drone shots as they were racing off the Col d'Ez. They had two climbs out there, the Tourbier and the Col d'Ez. At the top of each of those times, there were time checks. Then after the descent of the Col d'Ez, there was a third and final time check, and the fourth one being here at the finish line, where we got the official times on the stage, 33.7 kilometers, and Tadej would confirm he is the king of the Tour de France with a 6-stage win. Tadej blistered over the course at an average of 44.5 kilometers an hour, time of 45.25. Jonas Vingegaard was back at 1 minute and 3 seconds. Remco Evenepoel, who was in tears after his finish, and it was crazy mayhem as we were watching the riders one by one. Tadej Pogacar celebrating, Jonas Vingegaard with his family, Remco Evenepoel, who just dried away the tears, making his way through the crowd. Back at 1:14, Matteo Jorgensen, who was so generous with his time there, speaking with us, despite seeing the other riders come in faster, just shaking his head at how Tadej Pogacar was 1 minute and 3 seconds faster than his teammate Jonas Vingegaard. It was Matteo Jorgensen riding in a time of 2 minutes and 8 seconds for the TT, and that was despite that crash early on. He really picked up himself and got going again to fight for the stage win and to make sure Derek G didn't get up on him, because João Almeida was there in fifth, and Derek G did a phenomenal ride, because time checks, throughout the time checks during the day, Derek G was the fourth best rider in the time checks behind the top 3 GC riders, and at the stage finish he was 6th for the day, which is a darned good time after 3 weeks of racing, and really means a lot when we're talking about Derek G's future. And we caught up with him there at the finish line, and Derek G, as he is every day, just over the moon with how he rode the Tour de France and what this means for his future as a GC rider. Because remember, when Derek G came into this Tour de France, it was just decided that he would race for the GC after his performance there in the Criterium du Dauphiné. But oh, Tadej Pogacar with his ride today, and after being slapped in the face so hard last year in the TT by Jonas Vingegaard, well, he wanted revenge, and revenge he got it, because not only did he get the 5-stage wins, he got the 6th one, and the 6th one came with slapping Jonas Vingegaard back in the face for a stage win in the TT, and now a massive 6 minutes and 17 seconds ahead of his Danish rival, Remco Evenepoel, in his debut at the Tour de France. Should be proud with 3rd place overall. And yesterday it was a Hail Mary. Him and the Soudal team tried to overtake and overthrow Jonas Vingegaard, the winner of the Tour de France of 2023 and the year before in 2022. And then we're looking down the GC, João Almeida, Mikel Landa doing well after supporting his teammate Remco Evenepoel to still finish in 5th overall for the veteran Spanish rider. Adam Yates in 6th. And then further down, Rodriguez, Matteo Jorgensen, Derek G. But the takeaway from today at the end of the 2024 Tour de France is that Tadej Pogacar has done what no rider has been able to do since 1998, win both the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France in the same year. He joins an elite club of top famous cyclists who have done so, including Eddie Merckx, and the last rider to do it was the bald-headed Italian Marco Pantani in 1998. Now Tadej Pogacar with the double, the domination in the Giro d'Italia, coming here to the Tour de France. Many said, well, he had a weak field in the Giro d'Italia. Let's see if he can do it, back it up in the Tour de France. Well, he backed it up in the Tour de France, and he did it with gusto. 6-stage wins, and now what's next? Well, the Olympics are on his schedule, and we're all hoping he goes on to make history, becoming the only rider to ever win all 3 Grand Tours in the same year. Yes, hopefully he'll go on to the Vuelta a España and just dominate again. We'll see what he does next, but for sure, Tadej Pogacar was the destroyer. It was Pogafication over 3 weeks, starting in Florence and ending here in Nice. Tadej Pogacar, winner of the 2024 Tour de France.